from the same place as trap music. This that first react music. They can't hold me back. I'm feeling good cause I'm black music. Can't nobody touch this. My flow, I can't rush this. Put them on silence when I'm talking. You should hush, bitch. I am from the heavy base. My bro called a heavy case. Got a couple.
Good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Cigar Sundays Live. Tonight, we will be smoking on the word consequence. In American culture, the word consequence has taken on the meaning of a result that happens when bad decisions or choices are made. Tonight, we want to know if consequence is bad, good, or misunderstood. And before we get into that, make sure to like and share this video. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays. I am Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, always with the God, Ali Dawu El at BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God.
Peace, God. What you dealing with?
Another fabulous, beautiful Sunday.
That's awesome.
Palm Sunday.
Palm Sunday.
Palm Sunday, being thankful for something. You know, we don't necessarily get to church like we used to, but we always thankful for another day, you know, in God's name, whatever God you believe in, you know. And yeah, just being thankful to have another day and, you know, get something constructive done. We're doing something constructive. I had a very, very informative week, a lesson-filled week, you know. So, you know, I'm contemplating that I'm gonna incorporate a little bit of that in tonight's show.
Okay.
Because I'm contemplating how, or if, you know, or if I should extend olive branch, knowing that I wasn't in the wrong in the first place. You know, because it's not, you know, like I ain't on that bigger man bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with none of that macho shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I do what I say. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I always ask nicely. You know, like I always give respect first until a person doesn't receive that and they be disrespectful. You know, so anybody that I interact with, if you ask them, was I respectful initially before you got another type of reaction out of me? If they have integrity, they'll tell you, yes, that person was very respectful and very and not offensive or anything in their requests. You know, specifically in relation to a consequence that, you know what I'm saying, that happened. And yeah, guys. So still being thankful, man. Being thankful that I'm able to have that mindset to learn and to still be better. You know, we was talking about forgiving and forgetting in one of the shows how difficult it is. But what do we say? That don't mean we ain't trying.
That don't mean we ain't trying.
You know?
Word.
But if somebody do something, if you try niceness and a person ignores you, you know, and they continue doing the thing that you asked them nicely not to do, like that, how long do you, even when you go and confront and you say, you know what, I'm not here to fight. I just want to know, are we on bad terms? Is it fucked up? You know what I'm saying? Are we on fucked each other terms? Like, and then they throw another punch at you. You know what I mean? Then they want to fight you to resolve the issue. And it's like, can't you see I don't want to fight? Why is it that I'm aware of my own actions, but you keep receiving my peace as a fight, an invitation to fight, and I ain't trying to fight? You know, so where is that? You know, where does that come into play? What is the consequence of being? That's a consequence of being nice. I didn't even know that.
Yo, guy, you don't remember we did nice, right? And and I think the correct word you might have been looking for was polite when you
Polite, polite,
when you ask people politely
polite.
to respect your boundaries, and they say fuck you, right? And because nice is underhanded. Nice is you really don't
That's
mean
right.
that.
That's right.
Nice is we just being amicable just to be amicable, but
Right.
it's really like a fuck you anyway. So we don't support nice. At least you know
Salute, God. Salute,
I
salute. We don't support it. But I'm using
yeah, yeah,
everybody else colloquially thinks niceness is,
correct.
you
And
know,
it's more correct to say polite because
right.
that's really what you are, was being
Yeah. I'm like,
courteous.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
like I ain't called the police because I knew the police would make it to where it wasn't polite,
Yeah,
and they will force a person to do something with the threat of either penalty. Not like I'm against. I love the police. You know what I'm saying? I love the police. Like we have a great relationship. You know,
I don't.
I know you don't, but you know what I'm saying? We got friends. I got homeboys.
Yeah,
So I don't, and I'm not talking about, like I love
yeah.
who I love. So
Mhm.
I don't have a problem with that. But I'm just saying though, like if we are adults and we want to be free so bad, then why don't we act like it? And why don't we conduct ourselves as such? So when the person asking politely, why, why make it a big old deal and run it on? You know what I'm saying? Like why try to turn it into something else?
Yeah, but that's a lot of that is just people running from accountability,
And
right?
that's it. And
Again,
that's what it
like like
was.
like
That's
we
what
talked
it was.
like we talked about, right? Like if a person don't realize that you are responding to them punching you first, and they are actually thinking that your response is the first punch, right? Like that is them not taking that is them completely not being considerate of the current situation or of themselves or of you, right? Like that's somebody that's only on demon time, right? That ain't trying to resolve anything, right? So it has to, for them, like it has to escalate to physical. It has to escalate to bloodshed. It has to escalate to raise volumes, right? Because polite conversation is too nerve wracking, and I don't know how to handle that. You might think I'm a punk and I'm soft now because I ain't do something aggressive, right? And a lot of that is from the backgrounds and people not learning how to handle they emotions and how to deal with disappointment. Like we don't learn conflict resolution a lot of times in our environments, right? Like our conflict resolution for a lot of times is we fought it out.
I remember as a kid, yeah, but I'm not, and when we was doing that, I was 9, 10,
Yeah,
7,
but
7, 8.
yeah,
Like I'm almost 50
yeah,
years
but
old. Like ain't nobody got no time to be getting all sweating over shit. That's why,
no,
that's
that's what
why,
I'm saying, God.
that's why you ask. That's why
That's what I'm
you
saying,
ask
God.
politely, like
That's what I'm saying, God. We ain't never learned how to deal with conflict other than that, right? Like we stopped listening at after that, or people stop telling us, right? And it's like, you tough enough to be outside, so you good, right? But we don't know how to have conversations and just talk back and forth to each other unless we're friends, right? Unless we brothers, right?
But look, you right, God. But look, as a neighbor, right? Somebody breaking your shit, your neighbor let you know somebody broken your shit, right? You doing neighborly things. You move in, somebody let you use their hand truck. They not even being judgmental, like why you don't have no hand truck, you moving. They say, here you go. You know what I'm saying? They help you out. Uh this tax bill we got, nobody, I don't care how much money you make, nobody wants to get a fucking $7,000 bill unexpected. And we all know that somebody could sell you a house and not know shit about property taxes, not know shit about insurance or none of that. They renting and they trying to get their commission because they
Hmm.
sell houses. That don't mean they know about how the shit work. So
All facts.
so how do you share all of that positive, right? Good mornings, hey, how you doing? All this love, just plain shit. You know what I'm saying? Just being a good neighbor, right? And then you get shitted on. Like literally. Then you get shitted on, and then because you not, you know what I'm saying, then you have to act outside of your normal character. to threaten shit and do all this other shit. That's just like, damn, when I was just asking, why the fuck we gotta go through all this when I just asked you nicely, you know? And then you just be quiet. Then you just say, you know what? I don't want to fight about it. And you just be quiet. Then that still ain't good enough. Then it still want to antagonize you and shit. That's bully behavior, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I ain't never been no punk. Never.
And that's the problem, right? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Everybody just know how to be bullies, and everybody know how to not be punks, right?
Nah. Don't put me in that category,
No,
okay?
God, that's what
Because
not.
if I because like I said, I'm gonna defend mine. You know what I'm saying? If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. And I admit it because I hold myself accountable. I don't have no problem with checking my own accountability. You know, that's why the consequences of my actions cause me to get, you know what I'm saying, what I was telling you about, you know, what I text you about. So
No,
I'm
I
on,
got you.
you know, so I'm owning up to my actions. And, you know what I'm saying, I hope nothing happened to the animal because that wasn't my intent. I apologize to the animal because I wasn't trying to hurt you, puppy. You know what I'm saying? But if your owners thought that I was a threat to him, then it's irresponsible of him to allow your animal around.
100% facts.
And all I had been asking the owner to do was just be a better manager of your pets and stop allowing them to shit in my yard because what? I'm disabled. And I'm not even going to go into that because I don't need no pity party because I already knew it was against the law and I wasn't trying to call the police.
I don't think you need no reason for why you don't want something that you don't want on your property, right? I don't think you need to
Right.
have I don't
I
think
mean,
I don't think you need to have a reason, because of whatever I think is I don't like that. I don't like that shit should be enough reason for your reason.
yeah, I'm just like, man, tell the truth and shame the devil. You know what I'm saying? And don't try to be on no slick, hey, blah, blah, blah. Like come leave with an apology. If you
Oh God,
wrong, leave with an apology. You know what I'm
yeah, but
saying?
that's
And
what I
and
was
I'm not
saying
and
though.
I'm not going to turn my nose up to an apology, but a fake ass apology, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely going to ignore that because now that's just more bullying. That's not trying to resolve the issue. That's trying to act like please forgive me for my shit. Like I ain't even come like that. I ain't approach like that. I never led like that. Okay. But now my reaction is supposed to be what I'm just supposed to get stepped on. Like I pay for my shit too. I sacrificed 23 years of my life the same way they got family members doing the same, putting in the same work, you know? So I want the community to be good for that person too, you know? I want property value to be up for everybody around here in this fucked up ass economy we got going on.
And it's fucked up.
You see what I'm saying? So I ain't asking for. I ain't had no fucking special requests. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Nothing that everybody else ain't doing. The rules apply to everybody. Tell me I'm lying. That's all I want to know. Tell me I'm lying. Have some integrity. You know, that's it.
That's what I'm saying though. People don't want accountability. Integrity requires accountability, right? Because even when nobody's looking, you still got to do the right thing.
Even when nobody looking, you still gotta do the right thing.
And
And I failed at that.
people
And
are
I
running from that. They
and
want to be bullies all the time. They want to do what they want to do. They people really think that freedom really means just doing what you want to do without consequences, right? And that's kind of not retarded. That's kind of messed up. It's dumb, right?
it is
Like
definitely dumb.
like it's dumb, right? Like it's what goes up comes down. Like you can't go around slapping people because you feel like slapping people and expecting people just to be slapped and not to attack you back.
I mean, but pick the right people. Pick somebody that deserve to be slapped though.
Yeah, but if they ain't do nothing to you, like they still might not appreciate getting
You know, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. That would be a validity, right? Somebody who actually did something, you know, like
Yeah, so yeah, but you got bullies that don't care about none of that stuff and they only care about what they want.
yeah,
They want to
yeah.
be
It
the
don't
center.
work like that. I wish it worked like. I don't even wish it worked like that. I'm about fairness, you know. I'm always about fairness, and I'm not asking nobody to do anything outside the rules. You know, like that's it. I'm not asking. I wasn't. And then law enforcement came, and and my big thing is like, damn, is anybody around that says, well, did he ever ask you? And what did you do when he asked you? Nicely. Like, did he ever ask you nicely? And if that person can not look at the person who asked them and don't lie to their face, okay, and tell the truth, then what'll happen is the other person would say, well, why didn't you do it then? Why did it take now so you would do it when the police tell you to do it over threat and duress and a fine, but when your neighbor says continually doesn't even threaten to call the police, only threaten to call the HOA.
Yo, God, that's why, yo, this is
Now
this
you would do it? Like, that don't even make sense to me. Like, why you ain't just tell me, like, you gotta call the police on me because I ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like,
this is literally the beginning of looking at as motherfucker. Like this is where that shit started from, because this is my thing, man. If you're gonna if it takes the badge to come out, if it takes the gun to come out, like if you're gonna comply at some point, just comply, right? That's my thing. But people don't want to do that. They want
that's
they
it.
want they want you to go out their way and make them comply. They want to force you to force them to do the correct action. And I'm saying that it should come with blood and pain, right? For making somebody do all that work. If all you got to do is just do the right thing. Like if you're gonna comply at the end, like once the police show up and you're gonna chain your dogs up, you're gonna build a fence, you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do whatever it is you gotta do, right? If you're gonna do that anyway, just do that.
Right. I'm like, why I even had to get cussed when I cussed that when I asked, like cussed out when I'm asking, like, is it where we at? Is it fuck you? Is it fuck me? Like, how we get there? I ain't even on that. I'm trying to understand, but your actions by keep on allowing the thing to happen are reflective of that. That's recorded. Play the tape. Play the whole tape. Don't just play the scenes that possibly benefit your narrative. Play the whole tape. Okay? And then play the part where they talking about just keep asking me to come pick it up. Why? Why do you want me to come out my house and look for you that much? Why? I like to work in my yard. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to come out there every time I'm trying to work in my yard. I don't want to kneel, put my knees in boo-boo, put my hands and sit in boo-boo while I'm trying to dig in the dirt. So it's like, come on. That don't even make sense. Like, and then I should be mad. I should accept that as a fix when the rule is, if I call the police gonna come tell you out of pocket and they're gonna fine you.
Which is what you gotta
But
do.
but if I mean now I don't have no choice. You know what I'm saying? But before it was like it was compassion. It was and like I said, I'm still on some neighborly shit because I ain't moving, I ain't selling, I ain't going nowhere. I gotta live here. You know what I'm saying? Like I bought this the same reason everybody else bought around here. They wanted to have a home somewhere peaceful, nice to, you know. So I ain't going nowhere. But the thing is like the rules still apply. I didn't make them. And I wasn't trying to enforce them either. I was just asking. But there's a consequence, apparently, to politeness. And I didn't know. And I was made aware, But since God got me, you know what I'm saying? You can't lock me. You can't lie on me and get me locked up. God don't allow that to happen to his children. You got to be truthful. Because everything that I've ever done, God, you came and got me out of jail before. Okay?
Facts.
I admitted to that, right? I took full responsibility for that. So I ain't running from nothing, you know.
That's
But I'm
true.
not trying to start no shit though. You know what I'm saying? I'm all on some peace. I'm all about some peace, man. But if you fuck with me though, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how to tuck tail. Like I ain't built like that. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Like
yeah.
I don't. You know, like
I don't think it's tuck and tail, right? Like, cause like you said, where you at now, s- so the only safe thing that you can do is call the law and
that's what I have to do because the
let the
communication.
law enforcers enforce the law.
You see what I'm saying? When it
And
could just been a conversation.
yeah, and if it get that far, you know, if you get a good judge, right, like somebody that's actually trying to be King Solomon for real, they may ask the question like, why did it have to get this far?
That's
Like,
all I'm saying, guys.
why could you guys not just be good neighbors? Like, you know, like he may ask you, or they may ask you, and they may ask the other party, and they may want a real answer, right? And you might find out that day what's what's the beef.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't have no beef. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no beef with nobody. I don't got no ops. I don't even got no beef with the IRS, family.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
So I'm just like, I'm trying to live. Can I live? You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Can we live in peace? Can we not destroy each other's property and then not be upset when one is asked to not do it? Like, and just not do it in the first place. Like, be respectful.
So your question just now, guy, you said, "Can I live in peace?" And that made me think, like here in America, what does that mean? And I think that if your peace ain't being challenged or willing to be challenged, then I don't think you can for real. I
Yeah,
think I think what you going through is peace,
it
right?
is peace.
In America, right? I think that
That's crazy.
people are so because nobody just want to just be smooth. Everybody just want to be rigid, and I want to encroach. I want to take. I want to take. I want to take. I want to just do what I want to do, right? So it's like that's there's no that I think that is peace. I think that is.
It's
I
a
think we
horrible excuse for peace.
right
It's
like
a horrible,
like
horrible,
like
horrible excuse for peace.
I think we live in la la land on a lot of these meanings on these words, and we have a super high expectations with no plan of execution to actually get there, right? And I'm saying here in America, the Wild West was a real thing where people had beef and they would shoot it out right then and there, right? They go outside and walk their 10 paces or whatever and turn and boom, you know,
Has the
whoever.
has the education system improved since then?
That's that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm
Has
saying.
the education system improved since then?
Man,
You know.
I don't think so.
Oh
Right,
man.
like because they still doing the same things. Like you know they're not doing it as respectfully anymore, right? You know, but it's everybody's on some bully stuff. Everybody on some old.
Then I got it. Then I supposed to be this, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Cause, I'm not showing what I was called. Nigga.
That's what I'm saying.
No. You like, no, like I was actually on neighbor.
Or neighbor, the other N word, dummy.
You
Right?
know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
please, hey, joke. Like, hey, like I don't have dogs, so I don't want the responsibility for dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you coming with that whole approach, trying to be considerate, not to come off offensive or anything like that. And the person
And
just be like, fuck you.
and calling you every time I need you to come pick up your dog crap is a responsibility
It's a responsibility for me.
that I don't necessarily want, right?
And I said, I don't want to share the responsibility, right? Like, it's not mine to share.
And
Damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it
I
that
mean, no, it's simple, but I'm also trying to be. I'm also doing my very best to be considerate, right? I'm
right?
all right. Like I'm super happy and appreciative and humble that I woke up this morning, right? What you say? Like we have this opportunity to be the best version of ourselves, and I have it again. I'm super
That's
duper
right.
thankful and appreciative, right? And Some people, a lot of people are not, right? Some people, a lot of people are not thankful and appreciative. They think that um, waking up in the morning is a given. It's
Mm.
it's a part of the basics.
Like people don't
It's
die in they sleep.
it's just regular,
Yeah,
right? It's not something to say, to be on your knees and being thankful and grateful and calling your moms and pops saying, "Yo, hey, thank y'all for doing that."
that's right.
Right? Like a lot of people take looking and breathing for granted, right? It's kind of like when they, like these criminals, they go out there and do crime intentfully, then make songs about it, get locked up, and then talk about free so and so. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I kind of think that you did a whole thing to get locked up, and I think that we shouldn't be saying free you. I think we should be saying do your time, young man.
Right? Like hope that shit work out for you and you make better choices next time, right?
Or better music, like whatever it is you went there for, right? Like,
Or better, well, the music, of course, told on it. They told on themselves in the music, right? You know, that was crazy too. Like that's why I said like the music just be full of murder, kill, and you know what I'm saying? Nothing of have a conversation, work some shit out like normal
none
people.
is none of that. There's
You
no
know,
conversations. Conversations is I'll pop you.
like what the fuck huh? Okay, so then you walk away. You don't even want to talk then. Once you realize a
So
person
so I'm scared to walk away after somebody say I'm gonna pop you. I kind of want to pop you first.
nah, I ain't on that though.
See?
See, and that's where see I used to be like that. See, when you done that shit already, okay, I ain't never popped nobody, okay, but when you have had that mindset already early in life, then and you see something and you get exposure to something different, and you realize that that wasn't working for you, that just leads to death or jail, hurt people, no conversations, you know, more problems, when you realize that,
They have not realized that.
then you say, you know what? I'm going to handle things a different way from now on. I'm not going to get myself into shit like that because I know me, you know, and you
Yo,
know me,
God,
God, because you know where y'all came, what it was about. You know what I'm saying? So like,
definitely, definitely.
so I'm just like,
Yeah, nah.
you
Like,
know, like I'm not dealing with no demons, but I got one I keep locked up. You know what I'm saying? Like that I buried. I actually killed it, you know? So I don't be playing, man. Like I don't be playing with people uh with their emotions or anything. You know, I always be trying to come and be like considerate initially, always, but it's only so much I'm gonna be asking nicely and realize I'm getting punched in the face or realize I'm getting spit on or carried, handled, fronted on, whatever words people want to play, whatever people words want to disrespected, to say, I'm not going to do that. I don't care how you ask me.
hmm
Then now, what are you supposed to do? Now you're in a position where you're like, man, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta stand up for my shit. Like, I got
that's what
property
I'm,
rights,
that's what I'm saying, God. Wild
like,
West. This is the Wild West still, and they haven't told us yet, right? Like, it's weird out here, right? Like, it's weird. Like the music. That's what I'm saying. Everything that is all little boy scared talk is all bully, and bullies are scared, right? Bullies are scared to have conversations. Bullies are scared to look weak. Bullies are scared the whole time, right? So they go around bullying people,
that's
right? Like,
crazy as shit.
right, I ain't never bought none of that tough talk, right? Like yo, son, like we talk about consequences. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about it. We smoking on the word consequence, guy. You know what? Real quick, how your week been though? How your week been?
It's
'Cause
my week been weekend, bro. My week
okay,
been weekend. It's been weekend, but I'm here for it, right? I've been productive. I'm building. I'm redoing the yard. I got to
I'm trying to work in
restructure.
the yard too. Okay. Okay, you got
Put,
some yard projects going on. That's
yeah,
what we be about, man.
putting up a couple fences. You know what I'm saying, and just trying to just add on security and just some more infrastructure, right? But yeah, I just being productive as usual, bro. Um,
I had a question real quick.
what's up?
Um, the chicken eggs that come out different colors, like
Yeah,
you were telling me that some come out blue and
yeah,
other shades of red and
and
things
green
like that,
stuff. Yeah,
green. So what does, or do you know what the major manufacturers do with those eggs? Because all of them come like that. Do all of the
you
chickens
asking
lay
me
eggs like that?
what do the major manufacturers do with those specific eggs?
Hmm.
Those
Because when we
colors?
go to the store, it's just the
Yeah,
regular ones and the brown ones.
yeah. Nah, major manufacturer wouldn't have those chickens. Those
Ah,
those chickens like they're mostly called like Easter eggers, Americanas. Um, they got a bunch of different varieties that lay different color eggs. They don't lay with the same level of consistency and productivity for the commercial sector to say it's profitable, right? Like so, it'd be like one of those real supply and demand situations where the infrequentness of the eggs will literally drive the price to be higher because you would somebody might think that these are special eggs or these are literally Easter eggs themselves, right? Um, so it wouldn't be worth it for a commercial farmer. I mean, it would be worth it because they'd be able to trick people and say, hey, look, Easter eggs. Um, but you'll more likely get that from somebody like me, um, who just like to play around and just do what they want to do. But
right.
it's literally just literally the productivity and the amount of eggs you get, and
No
that's it.
doubt, no doubt, no doubt. That's what's up. I was just asking because me and my wife was having a conversation about eggs, and I was like, I'm gonna ask Ali that question when I
Word.
talk to him. But yeah, guy, everybody out there watching, make sure to like and share the video. Also, leave a comment in the chat, y'all. Tonight, we are smoking on the word consequence. We're going to go ahead and get into tonight's show. What we do here on Cigar Sundays Live is we take words out the dictionary and we define them, analyze them, break them down, uh, examine them, and have fun with it, y'all. We just try to, two big nerds smoking on words. We trying to learn, and we always trying to self improve because we don't get it right all the time either. I know I make mistakes in life, and I'm constantly a work in progress, But I don't never had no problem admitting when I'm wrong or apologizing and being sincere about it, you know. So we have three questions that we shape our conversation around, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up tonight's questions for the word consequence. And our first question of the evening will be, what do you think of when you hear the word consequence? Our second question of this evening will be, how does consequence play a role in decision making? And our third and final question of the evening, what are some examples of a negative or positive consequence? And please, y'all, if y'all watching, you can leave your answers in the comment section, in the chat if you want to. You watching live. We want to hear what you have to think about these questions. What are your thoughts? And we respond. We always respond to the comments. So before we get into the definition, what we do is we always try to answer the first question because it's just one of those things that is a general question, and right now we don't have the knowledge of the definition of the word consequence. So the guy Ali Dawu El at BK Soul Farm. Our first question tonight: what do you think of when you hear the word consequence?
Peace, God. So the first thing
Yes,
I
God.
think about when I hear the word consequence, literally, is your fault. This is happening because this is what you wanted. This is your fault. right? Whatever you about to get, right? You absolutely walked down this road. You absolutely pushed all these buttons, like you stirred up this pot, right? This is your dish. It's your fault. That's the first thing I think about, right? Um, for me, that's why I always talk about consideration, because the lack of consideration leads to a lot of negative consequences. Um, and they be negative mostly, I say, because the lessons don't get learned.
Because the lessons don't get learned. Like
Yeah,
that's
because
awesome.
they not in learning mode, right? They are in bully mode, where it's like I just want to lean and do and do and do, and to the person or persons that they leaning on, if they lean back, like I said, the other person may not realize that they punch in first, and that the other person is responding to being punched, right? So yeah, now that's why I say I think we 100% need way more consideration, so that our consequences will be better, right? There be because at the end of the day, even at the beginning of the day, it's all about remembering your lessons, right? Because if you don't remember your lessons, like, you're gonna be plagued by them, right? They're gonna be painful. They're gonna hurt, right? And even it's not to say that even if you remember them, they're not gonna hurt, but you will know when to grit your teeth. You will know when to brace for shock. You will know when to tuck your chin, right? You won't get caught off guard, is what I'm saying, as much, right? Because you'll be in the proper position, right? But if you lack consideration and you out here willy nilly, you're gonna get socked. Then it's like, man, why'd you hit me? What you mean? Why I hit you? You know?
Yeah, it appears to be that way.
Yeah, I think your fault, God. That's what I think. Consequence. That's the first thing I
Your fault. Yeah. Um, definitely when I hear the word consequence, like we always say, people got the word consequences. There's gonna be some consequences and repercussions. Like,
repercussions.
you know what I'm saying? And they just run with it. Like that's the new meaning of it now. Like, that's
Both
the
of
new
those things.
yeah, like that's the definition. It's gonna be consequences and repercussions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody looking for a fight. That's what it looks like. That's what it looked like to me. Like somebody looking for a fight, looking to prove a wrong or a right, to vindicate themselves from, I don't know, whatever. But it doesn't look like it never is used or presented in a way of something positive. It's always presented in a negative perspective. It's never given duality.
No.
It's never used like that. People, the average use of it is the negative. And it sounds like it's a punishment also as well. Like it always comes off as some sort of punishment. Like you got to get punished. It's the consequence because you did this, because you did something bad. That's what we talked about in the intro, that is always correlated to a bad choice or decision. So that's usually what resonates with me when I hear the word consequence, just in daily use. And but I still, because I got integrity. We've been talking about this word for weeks and weeks and weeks, referring to it on the show, on previous shows. So I'm saying that because that's the truth, but I know what the word is defined as. Like I'm not ignorant to the word consequence. So in my use case of it, I apply it as it should be taught, not as the meaning should be, just used because I think I'm smart, or I think I'm educated.
Yeah.
You know, I think I know what I'm talking about because I like the sound right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even on that. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I'm gonna
You,
listen.
you didn't stutter when you said consequences and repercussions.
Yeah. And repercussions. Like, stop it.
That's funny.
And everybody's just living on that because there's so much negative energy, you know.
Yo, to me, and that's what I'm saying, right? Like because everybody sees it as negative only. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody's on some lean mode is not consideration. Is not, it's a possibility for a good consequence, right? If I hug this person, maybe they'll hug me back. If I say hello, maybe they'll say hello back, right? If I do something polite, maybe they'll be polite back, right? Maybe, like, it's never none of that. Like it's kind of like a lot of uh, you said this is Palm Sunday.
This is Palm Sunday.
Okay, no, yeah, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll skip that then.
Okay. You was going to church. You was gonna take him to church.
No, I was about to say something about the church.
You was about to. Oh, so you was about to. Okay. Well, you know it is YouTube. They don't care what you say about churches, black people.
Yeah, my
You know
grandmother's still
you.
alive.
You know who's off limits. Yeah, my grandmama's still alive too. So you know, but yeah, family. But it is consequences. One of them things where it's just like, you know, soon as you hear it, it almost is a trigger word.
Yeah,
You know, because somebody is in fear of, and people only use it that way. You know, people
somebody's
only
in
use
fear.
it that way. They only use it to invoke, you know, some type of fear or consequence, or possibility of something negative. They never use it as something positive, you know. So what we gonna do, y'all, next is we're gonna go ahead and get to this definition. So we've just been answering our first question. What do you think of when you hear the word consequence? And let us know what you think of in the comment section, what you think of when you hear the word consequence, or in the live chat. We are smoking on the word consequence. Make sure to like and share the video. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. Also, links in the description, merch links, shopping links, social media links. We appreciate all y'all support. Definition of consequence. Consequence is a noun. 1, a conclusion derived through logic. A conclusion derived through logic. That's the first definition that they give us.
I already see a problem.
Does this look negative? A conclusion derived through logic?
That's super negative, God.
That's negative.
So it's negative because everybody be in their feelings, right? How do you logic something when you're operating from your feelings?
Okay, so this is not negative.
Not
The,
negative
the
as the
opposite of this practice is negative, what's being applied.
hmm
Okay.
and that
But a
opposite is
conclusion derived through logic is shit that you do every day, that's required every day when you get up and go to work at.
hell yeah.
Okay. A conclusion derived through logic is where you get them bills paid every single month. Okay. And you take care of whatever, you know, the babies need, and their extracurriculars and all that stuff. That's a conclusion that when you have a problem with a dispute with your wife, your children, a family member, a neighbor, anything, right? It has to be some type of logic derived.
Whole process.
It can't be emotion, ignorance, negativity. It can't be that. It can't be no fuck yous.
That's all feelings.
It can't be that. A consequence is not a fuck you. A consequence is a conclusion derived through logic. So for all the niggas that think consequences, repercussions go together, it's actually ass backwards.
Yeah.
And if you a part-time nigga, okay, where you do some hood shit, but you got a good ass job too, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Then you know that when you go to work, everything that you doing at work is a conclusion derived through logic. Everything that you're doing positive in your life is a conclusion derived through logic, which is a consequence of your what? Good choice, beneficial choice, positive decision you made,
Or just do your logical choices.
or through your logical choices, right?
Like you just like you thought about some things, followed through with it, and it worked out.
Okay, so let's go on, y'all. We talking about consequence as a noun. Number two, something produced by a cause or necessarily following from a set of conditions. Something produced by a cause or necessarily following from a set of conditions. Okay, they give this example here. It says the economic consequences of the war. All right,
Mm.
and me and my wife was going over this right here, this one right here, this one in particular, and she said, "Well, babe, the economic consequence of the war," and she pointed it out to me. She said, "It isn't the economic consequence of the war negative," and I was like, "No." Because it doesn't say the economic consequences of the war caused them to lose it.
Mm-mm.
The economic consequences of the war could cause them to win it too. They had enough money to go to war. So as a consequence of having enough, of having their economic footing to be able to foot the bill for the war, they won.
God, it's funny. It's funny or interesting that you said that you and the wife had that conversation because reading that, I'm thinking to myself, this is what I'm saying, where consideration comes in handy, because you would have to know what the economic consequences of the
Yes,
war. like
you
like
you
like
have
what
to.
what are the economic impacts of a war? What goes up, what goes down, who makes money, right? Like, is there money to be made? Are only they allowed to make money? Am I not allowed to make money? Like
No, you allowed to make. We all Americans are allowed to make money off of war. It is
uh,
just if you know where to invest. So places like where you would invest, you would buy stock in Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin. You would invest in our defense sector. So you would go buy
correct,
stocks in those particular sectors, and you will watch your money go up while lives are being taken because it's a
correct,
casualty of war. Okay.
correct, correct.
So yes, we do have the ability to capitalize because we in a capitalistic place,
But you see
you
what I'm
know.
saying though? Like, you would have to have the thought process to know that you might not understand what that mean, and even ask that question to 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 have real understanding, so you can know the consequences for real, the economic consequences.
I mean, there's always in war, there's always,
Yeah,
either a winner or a loser, or or just a draw. So either win, lose, or draw. The people eventually stop fighting. Wars don't last forever. Just like you don't stay mad at people forever. You know,
correct.
so something produced by a cause or necessarily following from a set of conditions. You know, and a set of conditions. A set of conditions is there's some rules. Set of
Yeah,
conditions are rules. So by not following the rules, then something was produced.
conflict.
You know, So moving on, 3A, importance with respect to power to produce an effect, a mistake of no consequence, a problem of grave international consequence. Now, they give it here, they say a problem of grave international consequence. They stating that it's a problem. So they telling you that this is negative. We don't know what the problem is though. But its importance with respect to power to produce an effect. So whatever is that thing that's important.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have 3A, social importance. Now they give us a person of some consequence, but isn't following the rules of social importance. Can you get in a car and drive? I mean, you can get in the car and drive, right? You can get in the car and drive, and you can say, okay, well, I don't have a driver's license, but I got my insurance in somebody else's name. I got my tags in somebody else's name. Right. I got my registration in somebody else's name.
I
But
think
I
those
don't
are three. I think those are three things you don't actually have.
right. But I don't have,
You're in possession of them.
right. So then when I get pulled over, right, do you think that the officer who pulls you over is gonna say, well, you almost got it together, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go.
I can see what you was trying to do, right? You was trying to,
You know what I'm saying? No.
you almost had registration in your name. It's in somebody else's name, but
You're not prepared to be on the road.
you got the paper.
You're not compliant. You know what I'm saying? You don't have, you know, all of the proper documentation. So now the consequence of that will be what? You possibly could get let go. You know, hey, don't let me pull you over again and you don't have your driver's license. But now they looking for you. Because now I know that I done pulled you over one time and you ain't right. You ain't straight. But if you get pulled over and you straight, then what? Whatever else you got going on, that's your business. But at least those things that are required to be on the road, you have them.
Correct.
We smoking on the word consequence right now, y'all, and we are reading the definition of the word consequence. Right now we at number 4. The appearance of importance, especially self-importance. Consequence. The appearance of importance, especially self-importance. So how is this being misused? As a consequence, oh, I'm gonna do something to you, right? Or you're gonna be punished, right? There's something that's gonna happen. But I don't see even where that's exemplifying self-importance. Because self-importance to me would be thinking about the consequence.
Facts.
Prior to you doing it.
Consideration.
That's what self-importance would look like to me, like thinking about
importance.
The appearance of importance, though.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand what that means.
Well, even if it doesn't appear important, people will ignore shit if it don't appear important to them, right? Clearly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Clearly.
Yeah, but like my book should be like a number 1 bestseller. Like Oprah should be talking about it. Like it should be like sold out. Everybody should be growing something. A bucket in the corner, right? Super easy.
Bucket in the corner. Go ahead and plug that. Go ahead and plug that book right quick.
1016, 161 self-sustainability. Right, it's a book on going from absolutely nowhere. I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know nothing about growing food, or I didn't at the time. Right, and through trial and error and experimentation, I've learned the skill of feeding myself and at least 10 families, right?
At
And
least 10 families,
been
right?
able to teach that process physically, virtually, and in book form, right? So that any and everybody can pick that up and get busy, because everybody, like, the consequences of not knowing how to feed yourself. What was the thing say, that the economics importance of a war? uh uh like, if you're not paying attention with all these tariffs and all this stuff that's going, like, that sound economical to me. It sound warlike to me. It sound like things can happen unexpectedly to me. And if you are out of position and unprepared, right, the consequences may be dire, right, for you and yours. So
Exactly.
that's what it's about, right? 1016 160.
1016. The link is in the description. Y'all go get your copy right now. Make sure to go to bksoulfarm.com and get it. But moving right along to our synonyms for the word consequence.
The after effect of the first one.
After effect, aftermath, backwash, child.
That's wild.
Children are innocent. That's positive, right?
That's wild.
You
That
telling me a child is a negative?
wow.
No,
Not at all.
not at all. Conclusion, corollary, development. You telling me development? Development?
Hmm.
Do that sound like, oh, I'm gonna do something to you? How do you develop? That's, somebody, oh, we're gonna develop an ass whooping, right? you know, be careful who you bully, man. Some people ain't about getting bullied,
For
you
real.
know. Effect, fate, fruit. We just talked about self-sustainability, and that's what we talking about, fruit. The fruit of anything is always going to be good. That's the best. That's what we waiting for. That's why we grow the vegetables. That's why we grow the trees, to get the fruit. That's the consequence. The issue. Everybody ain't got no problem with trying to get their issue. Because rap music told them getting your issue means something. Outcome. Outgrowth. When you outgrow dumb shit. Remember what I was talking about? Yeah, back in the day, bro. I did that already. If it wasn't for my mother, if it wasn't for my grandmama and my granddaddy, I was already crashing out. I just got lucky. That's it. God had a different plan for me. That's why you can't lie on me and put me in jail. Result. Resultant. The sequel. A sequence. A upshot. Product. Precipitate. So these are some synonyms. Now we're going to go over here to the thesaurus and see how they give us consequence. So they give us consequence in 4 different ways, as in result, importance, arrogance, and as in inference. So let's find out what these things are. Consequence, as in result, a condition or occurrence traceable to a cause. Okay, a result, a condition or occurrence traceable to a cause. So what caused it?
Who threw the first punch?
Who threw the first punch, right? Ain't that what we used to ask as kids? That's what who threw the first punch? Okay, then why did you do that?
Yo, I feel like
Why when he asked you nicely, you ain't do shit, and then get mad at him for coming asking you, are you throwing punches? Cuss him out and tell him, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna do shit. I don't care how you ask me. Like, for real?
yeah, I think participation awards, God. I think that's
I'm
how.
not spending it, and I'm not spending it.
I think that's when things changed. When we went away from winners and losers and first place and losers, and everybody got trophies, it stopped being who threw the first punch, and now everybody was just fighting. I feel like that's the time period when things changed from who threw the first punch, because that was significant. That was like a whole vibe, right? Everybody wanted to know, like, that was like the moral start, like don't go around starting fights. You can finish
Don't
them.
go right. Don't go around starting fights, right? Now, when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? I got beat up a couple of times because I ain't, hard headed made a soft ass. You know what I'm saying? I ain't won all my fights. I ain't out here trying to bully nobody, you know, because I know what that look like. So that's what I'm saying. So, like, you know, let's get through these synonyms real quick, guys. Result, outcome, resultant, product, effect, aftermath, matter of course, upshot, implication, corollary, fate, development, issue, precipitate, fruit. We keep seeing fruit, even as a result. Sequel, after effect, backwash, conclusion, outgrowth, sequence, child. We keep seeing the babies. The babies is all good. Ain't never communicated nothing about the baby, but for the baby safety. That's it. Tell me I'm lying. Check your text messages. All about safety. Okay? I got it. Ramification, repercussions,
There's the word. What is that?
denouement. Well, is that did I pronounce that?
I like it. Denouement. I like it.
Denouement.
I
What
like
is
it.
denouement? I don't know. Do you know what you meant?
That gotta be what this next one means.
Byproduct, fallout, side effect, side reaction, echo, aftershock, backblow, afterclap, ripple, afterglow, offshot, spinoff. Okay. Then we have as importance, the quality or state of being important. We see importance, significance, import, magnitude, moment, gravity, value. Uh, what is that? Momentous, momentous.
Yeah.
Weight, weightiness, account, substance, power, prominence, notoriety, distinction, worth, seriousness, celebrity, fame, eminence, renown, reputation, status, preeminence, potency, control, worthiness, noteworthiness, note, report, name, position, authority, substantiveness, repute, dominion, centrality, mastery, store, sway, prestige. There is even prestige in consequence, greatness, standing, stature, rank, glory, honor.
None of
He's
these were are negative.
none of that's saying, we got to hurt somebody. None of it.
None of this.
None of it. None of it saying that. Essentialness, essentiality, mark, illustriousness, illustrious. That's one of my favorite words. Illustrious. You know, it just sounds like you just smooth as shit. Like like whoever that is, man, they got it going on for real. And then catch it. Okay. So then we see consequence in arrogance, as in arrogance, an exaggerated sense of one's importance that shows itself in the making of excessive or unjustified claims. The arrogance, right? An unjustified claim. Arrogance, superiority, pretense, attitude, disdain, assumption. What is that? Bumptuousness? Bumptuousness.
Yeah.
Preemptoriness,
That's just
preemptoriness. Like to be preemptive, right? But is preemptoriness. Okay, being on a high horse, self-consequence, imperialist, pretense, superciliousness, pretension, haughtiness, loftiness, masterfulness, lordfulness, lordiness, laudiness, should I say, top loftiness, presumptuousness, pomposity, pompousness, vanity, pretentious, high-handed, inflation, scorn, pride, huffiness. You know, all of these things sound like the majority of these things with the exception of masterfulness. And I don't even know how they're using that in the context of masterfulness, but I know they're not using it in the context of anything slavery wise,
no,
you know?
no,
So
no.
to me, masterfulness is what we desire to do with things that we learn. That's things that we want things that we do. We want to master them. We want to become better at them, right? Isn't that becoming a master at your craft? We want our children to do these same things and all of their studies and all of their and everything they try to do to excel as well. All right. So this the only part of arrogance that I even add to my own psyche. Okay. And I do take pride in my stuff, but I have a level of pride. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't one of them over senses of pride. It's just like, hey, this my stuff and I pay for it. So, you know, I want to make sure that it look good. So I take a little pride in it. You know, you want to blame me for that? Well, you know, ask somebody you might know how they keep their uniform if they in the military. Ask them, do they like to keep themselves looking sharp? Okay. So I can't be in a uniform no more, right? But I still got things that I like to keep looking sharp. High-handedness, inflation, pride, scorn, condensation, snobbiness, bossiness, snobbery, snobism,
That's a lot of words.
self-assertion, authority, brag, impudence, boastfulness, snootiness, cheekiness, pounding on your chest. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to, like looking for ways to antagonize, looking for ways to, I'm gonna make shit bad for you. I'm gonna try to make it bad for you. You know what I'm saying? For what? And ain't nobody do nothing but just say, please stop doing something that I ain't doing to you. Cheekiness, sauciness, impertinence, bravado, egoism, vainglory, self-satisfaction. They even got a little Bow Wow in here.
Mm-hmm.
Self-contentment, self-opinion, self-content, self-conceit. They even got swagger in there. You know, egotism, cockiness, chic, conceit, strut, braggadocio, what's that, bombast,
Yeah.
self-centeredness, and superiority complex. You know what I'm saying?
Did
You
you see
can,
swelled head? That's crazy.
swell head, what we got, swell head, and vaingloriousness too, and smugness and self-partiality. Now, this is one of the things I want. How can you have how can you have a superiority complex? How can anybody think that you have a superiority complex, right? When you asking them to follow the same rules that you got to follow.
Yeah. That's just an ignorant person.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if I say, you know what I'm saying, you ghetto, I don't know you personally, but your actions are reflective of when I was in the ghetto. This the type of shit I get because I done been around the world, and I'm I'm thinking that this community where we at now ain't that type of community. When we drive in, I don't want our community to be the community. I had a brother. He was working on a house next door, and I shared something with the brother, and the brother said to me, he said, "The black people live back here." Like that made me feel bad, bro.
Yeah.
That made me feel bad, bro. That oh, the niggas live in the back of the neighborhood where it's all niggified and shit.
There's an expectation of lower standards.
An expectation of a lower standard.
Yeah.
Like, man, I ain't gonna sacrifice all not being away from family,
And that's what I'm saying.
being
Like that's
away
the
from family and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Missing birthdays and parties and all that good shit. I ain't go do all that to be in no nigga situation. You know what I'm saying?
and that's a whole punch that he don't think he threw. You see what I mean? Like
For real.
he don't think he said nothing crazy that that you should be offended by.
Bro,
Like,
I stopped fighting. I was like, man, I'm just ain't even gonna say nothing. Just leave me the fuck alone.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit still wasn't good enough. I gotta get a response. Like, why? Do you even need any attention? Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, leave me the fuck alone, man. I'm trying to, like if we can't have a positive conversation first, not I come with a positive conversation, you cuss me the fuck out, now want to be my friend again. Like, I don't owe that to anybody but my family members. That's it. You only owe that. I'm gonna tell y'all right here on Cigar Sunday. This is DBCHEFTV. This, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying. Everybody else out here picking and choosing, right? So if somebody disrespect you or does something that you just like, damn, like I'm not even. That's not even what I'm on. Like, why the fuck you even on that? You know, like that actually has nothing to do with solving the problem. So I come from the school that when somebody show you who they are, believe them.
You say solving the problem, God. Like the first thing was something to deal with logic. And most of these people are not trying to solve problems. They just trying to be in their feelings.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
that's crazy. So, when you see that, then you have to do something different. Because if you don't do something different, then obviously the way that you was trying to resolve it wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
That's what all problem solvers do. If this way don't work, we try another way. That's what everybody does when they trying to solve a problem. Oh, it don't work. This screw don't fit. Let me go find another one. But I gotta make sure that these pieces get together.
Correct.
Tonight, y'all, we smoking on the word consequence, and we are at number 4 of our synonyms. Consequence as in interference. An opinion arrived at through a process of reasoning. An opinion arrived at through a process of reasoning. Inference, deduction, conclusion, determination, decision, even assumption, induction, verdict, diagnosis. And let me say this, an opinion arrived at through the process of reasoning. So here's my assumption. All right. I'm asking nicely, it's not happening. So instead of assuming, right, now you come to the opinion like, all right, they on some fuck you shit because it just keep on happening. So what you say is, okay, well, you know what? You can arrive at that opinion through a process of reasoning based on the things that are happening. Okay. But isn't a gentleman thing to do to go ask somebody, is it fuck you, before you assume that it's just fuck you and then you start carrying shit like fuck you?
Yeah.
But
I
because
don't know if
but
it's I think
because
that's
everybody,
human though, God. I think that's just
nah,
regular.
it ain't human, it ain't the culture no more because everybody
That's
want to
true.
turn the fuck up.
That's true. That's true.
Everybody looking for a fight for some fucking reason, man.
Without actually fighting, like they're actually scared to fight, right?
I don't even care about that shit. Like, it don't need to be a fight in the fucking first place. Who give a fuck whether they scared to fight or can't fight? Like, why are we even fucking trying to fight? Why we just can't have a conversation? Why it can't go, oh nah, I ain't doing that. You tripping. Why it ain't on that? Because I'm asking. And I'm not saying, I'm not accusing a person of. I'm asking, are we there? Play the tape back. You got the tape. Play the tape back. I'm asking. So all of it, so all of those things come with compassion and not assuming shit, giving a person the opportunity to actually communicate it. Not just going to go call the police on somebody like, well, fuck it, you won't do it. Well, I guess I'm gonna make you do it. No, I'm not even trying to force you to do the shit. And I know that I have that in my power, but yet that person is still telling you they trying to empower you to tell them to do something. And I'm like, I don't even want to tell you to do nothing. You grown. Tell me I'm lying.
Now you're not.
And I'm not trying to be right or wrong. I just want resolution, peace. You
I
get
just
what I'm
want
saying?
100%. I just want to focus on this opinion, right? Is an opinion that's arrived through a process of reasoning,
Through a process of reasoning.
right? So that means it doesn't matter what your reason is for why you came up with your opinion. You have a reason though, right? You went through a whole process. You went through a whole thought process and came up with a conclusion, a judgment, a resolution, a verdict, a deduction, an assumption, a diagnosis, right? A ruling, a deliverance, a supposition, right? A presumption. Like an opinion without a process of reasoning is not. It's like keep that shit to yourself.
It's almost like keep that shit to yourself.
Like keep that to yourself.
Because it wasn't well thought out.
Like you just can't have an opinion just to have one. Like that's mean. That's a bully maneuver.
I'm just saying. God. I'm just saying, God. I ain't think, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't never consider myself a victim, you know? But I mean, like I know because I'm from the hood, I know what bullies look like,
Yeah.
you know? But I'm from there. I'm not there. You know, like I left that. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't take the thugs along with me. You know what I'm saying? Because when I wanted to go to the military, nobody else wanted to join. Oh, nigga, you joining the military, you soft and shit, man. You getting soft. You want to go work for Uncle Sam and shit like that. Now I'm 45, 46, pardon me, pushing 47, retired, and them niggas still struggling. And I call them niggas because those are my niggas. Never ignorant getting goals accomplished. We're gonna use that like the Charleston White. Okay. But they standing on being street niggas. They people you can call if you need some dumb shit to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't with that. Niggas no man. I ain't calling nobody for nothing, bro. I'm not doing no dumb shit. They with that. But when I say, hey, let's do a podcast, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's start. You want to start a t-shirt company or something, bro? You want to do something constructive? Let's start a business. They ain't trying to do that. But if I call them on some fuck shit, oh, they all with it.
Fuck shit is once in a while. Fuck shit is not consistent.
It's not relevant to me at all because I ain't
Yeah.
on no fuck shit. You know what I'm
That's what I'm
saying?
saying. Like that's why they can do it though, because Podcast is consistent, business is consistent. Anything constructive requires consistent attention. Whereas some fuck shit is just a quick hop in a car, roll up a blunt, and turn the music up, and we go do some dumb shit.
Some dumb shit. Some shit that's, you know what I'm saying? I asked them to join the military with me to help to change our life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I already knew. And I was the worst one. No cap. And I ain't bragging on that. That was stupid. All that shit was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm thankful every day. Like I said, we woke up this morning. I don't got a lot to kick it, man. I don't got a lot to kick it nowhere to nobody. You know, I'm gonna be the most honest person in the room because I will tell on myself before I lie on you. Anybody. That's just how I was raised. Resolution. Verdict, ruling, judgment, deliverance, presumption, surmise, supposition, induction, decision, determination, inference, deduction, conclusion. And all of these words are related to inference, are synonyms to the word consequence related to inference, an opinion arrived at through a process of reasoning. So now we have the definition. We go back real quick and look at it one more time. A conclusion derived through logic.
Like it.
Something produced by a cause or necessarily following from a set of conditions. Importance with respect to power to produce an effect. Social importance. And the appearance of importance, especially self-importance. Okay, so back to our questions this evening. We are moving on to question number 2 now that we have defined the word consequence. Let us know what y'all think about the word consequence in the comment section. I don't know which facts. Bubble and Brown said facts. You know, but
all facts.
Big facts. You know what I'm saying? But we could fix that though. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't holding the shit against nobody, man. You know, but don't lie on me, man. Don't act like I did you wrong when you know I ain't do you wrong in the first place. And then now try to make a wrong on me. So now you have something to actually be mad about. Like if you caused that, if you antagonized that, you know what I'm saying? Then you actually wanted that. That's what you wanted. You didn't want to be cool. You wanted for there to be a fight.
In the first place.
You see what I'm saying? So even when I walked away, I turned my back and walked off like, man, I'm not going to argue with you. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I could really call the police on you if I feel like it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to, you know, you know what I'm saying, keep it cordial, man. Like, why you want to get into the habit of start calling the police on your neighbors and shit over something so fucking petty? Like, you know, I'm not, you know, like that's the way I'm thinking, but I'm not understanding that like everybody ain't thinking the same way. So you have to, you know, do things to be like, you know, you know, you got to be on nigga time. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be like, I'm gonna show you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to pop out and show nobody shit. You know what I'm saying? If we ain't popping out to go get some money, man, we trying to be at the crib beautifying or focusing on how to get some more, man. Because prices keep fucking going up.
And they're not gonna come back down, God. Like,
they're not coming. Did they come back down when they went up when our parents was younger?
Nah.
No. So what? So you know what I'm saying? So ain't nobody. People trying to have good times, live their life, enjoy. You know what I'm saying? And part of that is me working in my yard, not kneeling in shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it ain't no. You know, like it ain't no tough ass.
Especially from not your dog shit.
Especially from not mine. Right. That's that man. I don't know why. I don't know why it's so difficult, man. But I'm like, release all the footage. You know what I'm saying? Release all the footage. You know, don't catch it at the height where you trying to antagonize, trying to make somebody look like they ain't never asked you peacefully, please.
Yeah.
Trying to carry me like I ain't never said please. And then when I'm like, damn, I'm asking please, what the fuck? Like I ain't about to kiss ass. This is my shit. You know what I'm saying? But I do have enough courtesy and I'm human enough to say please, like and respect to say please first, like before I just started cutting up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everybody don't respond to please. I get it. But I'm not begging, you know what
Which
I'm
is which
saying?
is which is so crazy because like please and thank you is not some soft sucker nothing. Like it's super respectful. Is please, thank you. Like it's not hard. It's not even I don't even feel no way when I say it. Like it's not it's I don't know, God.
I don't feel any way either. Like I don't even feel like I'm doing nobody a favor. I feel like that
That's what I'm saying.
you should lead with please. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
should lead with it. That's why I did it. It wasn't let me sit here and figure out how to do it. No, it's just naturally, you know what I'm saying? Because if the truth is told, everything was cordial. Everything was, hey, good morning, respectfully, all that. It never even got, you know what I'm saying, to a fuck you. You know what I'm saying? It never even got to that. It got to me on my part. My action is just, I'm just not gonna say nothing because obviously, if I can't have a conversation with you, I don't want to argue with you over some shit that don't need arguing. I don't want to
Correct.
fight. I don't want to. I don't think that the shit need to go to nobody getting hurt or dying or none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Over a person just being responsible for their own property. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, do I do that shit? Do I do that to you? And if I don't treat you like that, then why you treat me like that? And we're not gonna play about it. You know, we're not gonna coddle about it and shit like that either. You know what? Now the law say what the law say. So we must follow the law. We can't be free.
You cannot be
Yeah, we can't be free.
free. We must be bound to the law.
We must be bound to the law. You know,
That's funny.
like we can't control ourselves like some wild niggas. And the second question, how does consequence play a role in decision making?
I think that's all we've been talking about so far, guy. When you asked this question the first go around, my first thought was to change the word from does to should. Because I'm saying I don't know if people actually think about the consequences of their actions before they do them,
Okay.
and if they're really concerned about them, right? Again, I go back to the scenario where I say criminals go out there and criminalize. They put the actual actions in their raps or in their art, right? Sell it. Everybody applauds it, knowing that it's all real, and we actually look forward to them getting incarcerated, and then we say free little so and so.
Free love now. Love now.
Right? And
Love
I'm
now.
saying, like we all knew, like they knew that they was doing something crazy. They knew that they was out there being little monsters, right? And being terrorists. Um, People, like family and friends know they out there terrorizing, and and people will still say free so and so, free the murderer, free the person that killed so and so grandmother by accident, free the person that left the fentanyl laying around and little Susie, licked it or whatever, right? However it went,
That's
right?
awful.
Let's free the people that just keep doing showing us over and over and over again that they don't care about themselves or about us. So I don't know if people are thinking about consequences to their actions, right? Or to their decision making, especially, because that's the question, to their decision making. I'm like, I don't know if they are like, but how does it affect though? Like, how does it apply, or how does it play a role?
I mean, you go ahead and
Clearly,
you run with
clearly,
it how you want to run with it, God.
like everything is everything, right? Like, you can only bully somebody for so long before they decide they don't want to be bullied no more, or they call their big cousins that won't allow them to be bullied no more, right? Like that's the
But
consequence.
what if you lie? What if you lie to your cousins and don't tell them what you did, and then you allow them to run up in some shit that they think they going to in your defense,
That's
but then
fucked
they
up.
run up into a fucking storm that they was just
That's
like,
that's
they
that's
ain't even know that you know what I'm saying? So like
that's
that's what I'm
that's
talking about, having integrity and
that's
not
fucked up.
lying and being forthcoming, because
Yeah,
people will love you that much that they will want to protect you when they think that somebody is harming you. But if you lying to them, then you putting everything that they have going good for them in jeopardy.
everything, and that's messed up, right? Like I don't like that. I'm mad you said that because I wasn't even thinking about that part. I was just thinking about, but yeah,
So do you care about that person then? Do I care about my family for real? Do I
nah,
respect my family that I'm gonna lie to them to get them to fake crash out and possibly fuck up what they
no,
got going on?
no, nah. That
You know
that's
what I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying.
Do I
Nah,
really love them? And my family would have to ask me, like, do you really fucking love me, man? Like, do you care? But
no,
why you gonna have me running? But some people stupid, right? I don't care if you right or wrong. So you gonna die on a right or wrong? Not how do we fix this shit?
yeah, and I don't like
Not
that.
how do we make sure that we don't have to
Mm,
go through this no more? How do we resolve this and keep everything cool and peaceful? Especially where the fuck we gotta lay our head down at?
yeah, yeah, nah. That's what I say, right? Like, which is why I say the new piece must be this, right? Because it seemed like my understanding of what I think peace should be and what I think peace means seems to be the opposite of what everybody is talking about, or not even everybody, but the societal norm, right? It seems like just being neighborly is saying, fuck you, I get to do what I want to do. Look at my house, posting on Instagram. Ow, look at me. Meanwhile, your dog out there just sitting on everybody else's property, and you showing the good side of your life, not showing what you're doing to anybody else. And when, like I said, when you messed me up when when you said that the person was lying. I don't like that because there's nothing worse than to put somebody else in jeopardy for something that you did or something that you're doing. Right? If somebody's willing to crash out for you, and you're not telling the whole story, you're not telling the whole truth, you leaving out that you actually started this fight, like that's important information.
And that's what I'm saying. I ain't never did that. Never did that, guy. Not even as a child. You know what I'm saying? Not even as a child. So, so I don't get it. I don't get why that
And I apologize, guys. I'm thinking about this, and now you got me thinking about. I, there aren't a lot of consequences that we see for people that do just that. Now I'm thinking about all of the people that call the police on people that aren't doing anything for real, and somebody end up jammed up, hurt, harmed, or unalived because somebody said that they did something.
right.
Very few times in history have we seen the people that lie get in trouble, right? Like the people that
No, I see black people that lie get in trouble all the time. Now, if you want to say the people that lie when you talking about politicians and all of them people at a higher
right, that's, yeah.
tax bracket and all that stuff, I mean, some of them get held accountable. Not everybody. I mean, Bernie Madoff went to jail. The boy who did the crypto went to jail. You know,
Yeah.
uh, so what's his name? Epstein, not Epstein, but the other dude, Harvey Weinstein, he went to jail. So people have to be held accountable for stuff they doing, family. Like,
100%.
like, and ain't nobody lying. Like, if ain't nobody lying, like, what I'm saying is you can't. Satan is not allowed to have me with no lie. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Satan can't take me down with no lies because of my integrity when I know that I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Satan can't have me. That's how people say they had their relationships with God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So why you think I ain't lose my career when that thing went down with that?
Yeah.
Well, y'all had to come get me.
Yeah.
Right? See, God, like, I ain't make it this far for no reason. Like, I really have lived. Let's just say that, family. You know what I'm saying? And really, just trying to, continue to live and like we doing. So answering our second question is, how does consequence play a role in decision making? Like you said, how should consequences play a role in decision making? Probably would have been a better word of the question, God. And does or should, I guess we use it, both ways. And thinking about what could possibly happen before you do it. The same way we do every other thing. Not automatically thinking that somebody trying to run you. Not automatic, in correlation to, situation I've been sharing this evening. Not thinking somebody trying to run you or somebody trying to tell you what to do. Not thinking somebody trying to boss you around, but actually saying, you know what, damn, am I in the wrong? Do I have legal standing? What could be the consequence, right? Since everybody think of it negatively, right? But then if we look at both sides, what's the consequence could be? Well, the negative could be that I have a neighbor that I'm unable to be cordial with. I can't speak to them, you know what I'm saying? I can't wave and just say good morning, all that. And I can still maintain who I am, my moral compass, where if somebody break into your shit, I would tell you again, right? If I got some financial something or whatever, I would tell you again. You know what I'm saying? Because I started like that.
Yeah, I'm still gonna be me.
Yeah, let's go through these comments right quick. Who we got in here? Oh, so Bubbling Brown was like all facts. Bubbling Brown, the only person chiming in. Egg prices did go down. That was good. Yep. We said everyone doesn't respond to please, chef, unfortunately. And that's sad because, don't nobody have to beg nobody to do nothing. Especially when you know you're in the right, when you know that you can just immediately sick the police on somebody and you just like, man, we ain't doing all that. You
That's
know what I'm
terrible.
saying?
Sick the police. That's crazy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you be like, man, we not doing all that, man. We trying to be peaceful, man. Just ask somebody, even ask the person, is it fuck me? Like, I ain't trying to fight you. I just want to know if you want some fuck you shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you are, then that's fucked up. Why are we there? So we can try to talk it out and try to fix it. You know what I'm saying? But don't I get cussed out again and then the same shit just continue to happen? It's like, come on, man. I'm not tripping. You are like, fuck me. You know what I'm saying? But then, like, I'm not even tripping.
Yo, God, I'm listening to you. And I'm super reasonable till I'm no longer am. Right? Like, and that's what I'm saying. That's the first thing is like it's your fault. Like everything I'm hearing you say is like, hey man, I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm giving you grace. My grace is running out.
You know,
My grace is running out.
you know, and I'm like,
Lord, talk to him, Lord.
that's all I'm doing is praying on it. That's all I'm doing is praying on it, God. I'm just praying on it. Like, man, this shit don't make no sense. Like, fuck did I do other than ask?
Yeah.
You know, like, and then I mean, and besides, you know, like I said, things happened after the acts in the course of the process,
Yo,
which
so
I sent,
maybe
you know, which I sincerely apologize for. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that, you know, it didn't need to get there.
maybe that's what needs to happen though, right? That we need to change our thought process and say that it does need to get there, right? Assume that people are unreasonable first and just call the law. Um, to make them like, yo, man, we could have worked that out. All right. So now we can be on good terms. Now I ain't got to call the law again. Right. Like it seemed like
Yeah, you know.
like cause now that they done came, everything's gonna be all right.
But see, but that is
And
the
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, like, but
That's why we got to start calling from now on. Like the new thing got to be like, you know
that's
what, you a
crazy.
sucker. I'm just gonna call so I can fix my problem before it becomes a problem. Like for me, I think it is inappropriate that I got to fix my problem if somebody's trying to cut in front of me in line or cut in front of somebody else in line. I think that the people behind the counter should be doing line management. I think that if somebody cut in front of somebody else, they shouldn't take that person that cut in front of the line. I think they should take whoever the next person is, not whoever jumps up there. But they leave it up to us to resolve our situation like it's our problem. And I'm like, nah, this is your establishment. This is your business. These are your practices. And you're saying that the customers have the right to tear this place up because they doing their own line management. Like, we shouldn't buy nothing in here because you don't care about our safety. Right. But that's just me. I'm super
I know how you feel about it, God.
I'm
You
saying.
know, I let a person go. I'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was at Home Depot the other day trying to get some trees and some plants, some soil and stuff so I can
Mhm.
go play in my yard, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm over there doing that. I'm checking out. only got like I had to go to Lowe's and had to go to Home Depot. When I get to Depot, I only got two things running in there,
Mhm.
right? I'm getting in line. Somebody come up, they say, "Hey, you want to go before us?" They in line and they got a bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
They like, "You only got two things. You can go." I said, "You know what? Thank you so much for your kindness, but I'm actually not in a rush. You know, y'all go ahead." And then because they was elders,
Mhm.
okay, because they were older than me.
Mhm.
All right, and I could see it in their face. I could see it in their gray hairs. You know, I'm on the talk, but they had way more money, right? They eyebrows and shit was gray.
Yeah,
You
shit
know, you
great.
know what I'm saying? So they old enough to be mama and daddy or somebody, right? So I'm like, when I get to the parking lot, because they gestured, because they considered me, I asked them because they had a whole bunch of stuff. Now I got a bad back, bruh. I can't even go work in my yard every single day. Anybody who seen me working in my yard, putting my shit together, they know he go out there and work a little bit, and then he come, and they don't know why.
I take mad breaks.
You know what I'm saying? But I
I
have
take
to pace myself. You
I
know,
take mad breaks.
so it take a little while for me to get shit accomplished, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm out there in the parking lot, and just because they consider me, I ask them, knowing I need to come back and do some other shit that's gonna put a little strain on me, right? Do y'all need some help loading y'all truck? What do it cost me? Nothing.
Don't cost you anything.
Now, I can exemplify that same type of love in any environment, but not in an environment where you like, fuck you.
Fuck you don't warrant can I help you?
No.
Fuck you don't warrant that. Nah.
You know, fuck you. I'm not going to exemplify that type of, you know, consideration in the environment when it's like, I'm going to show you. You know, like, I'm going to send you to jail because I'm wrong. You know what I'm
That sounds
saying?
crazy.
You know,
I'm gonna send you to jail because
I'm gonna
I'm wrong.
send you. I'm gonna try to send you to jail because I'm wrong.
That's evil. I'm man.
Come on, family. I'm just like, really, dog? Like, like really, dog? You know what I'm saying?
That's evil.
Come on, family. We ain't even on that type of time, man. We ain't even want to call the police. We asking. So a consequence of it was I have to deal with my actions, which I said my actions were my actions,
Yeah.
you know? And the negative consequence was I got a warning, you know? But I know how to keep my hands to myself, you know? But I didn't need the police to tell me to keep my hands to myself because I was already keeping my hands to myself
In the first place.
in the first place.
Correct.
I was asking for there not to be a need for me not to keep my hands to myself. And that requires somebody else to be responsible with their portion.
Which they couldn't. They needed help. They needed assistance from law enforcement to tell them to play nice.
Because they purposely went to antagonize,
Yeah.
you know? So like that's looking for a fight. You try and pick a fight. That's i.e. trying to be a bully.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the law enforcement saw that. They knew that. They recognized it. They knew I wasn't lying. I don't have no reason to lie on
And,
nobody, man.
and that's what I'm saying, Bubbling Brown, right? Like I'm with you on that, right? That's what we saying. And what I'm starting to think now, my new thought is call the law first. Because I think people are trying us because they thinking that we such niggas that we scared of the police for real in real life. They thinking that, oh, you think you one of those cats from outside or whatever that you would never ever ever call the police, so I can just keep checking your chin, and you ain't never gonna do nothing about it. So I'm saying, oh, you think I'm a sucker? I'll be that. I'll be that. I'll be that. Be that. Be
Man,
that.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Take your ass to jail. Stop fucking with me, right? Or say that you want to fight. Let's square up and let's do that and go on about our business. But I don't like this tiptoeing stuff, man. Like I got anxiety, right? I don't I don't like.
You feel me, God? And that's why I'm like, why?
I don't like
You
this.
you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta come in the house and pop a whole fucking pill just because,
You
you
know what
know
I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying?
Like I don't like that. Like I don't like that,
For
right?
real.
So
Like,
that's
nah,
that's why
man.
that's why I'm saying, you know what? Like I'm gonna have to just allow my tax dollars to work for me, right? Because I'm a homeowner, a property owner, and a business owner, right? Like these people work for me, right? Um, to just solve my problems because I shouldn't have to deal with ignorant citizens that don't know how to be civil, right? So let these people show you how to be civil.
You know, that's so and that's so crazy what you just said as far as
You know what I'm
people
saying?
like
Like,
people being scared to go. Like, I ain't scared of it.
it's good.
You know what I'm saying? I was scared
Now,
when they
mind you,
pulled up and nothing.
nothing
Like
like
nothing.
I say fuck the police all the time. However,
Yeah, I don't say
right?
fuck the police though, but
Yeah, but
you
that's
know,
me, right? That's me.
right,
I
right. I know,
got.
I know.
All right, like I say a bunch of stuff about the police, but at the same time, I know the right thing to do, right? Because I don't wanna have a misunderstanding and now have the police trying to decide which one of us to take in, and now have a judge try to decide, who's telling the truth based on what this police that just got called on the scene after the fact. Like, nah, I don't like all that. So I'm gonna call this cat on my side. Come out here, do your job, right? I ain't gotta like you for you to do your job. Just come out here and do that,
Right.
right? Um, and make them act right. Right, because
You know, and make them act right. You know what I'm saying? Like it just sounds so like don't it sound belittling to have the police to have to tell
But
you
that's
to
but
act right?
but
You know
that's
what
what
I'm
the
saying?
judge. That's what the like we
Man,
are minors, right? Because we go to court. The judge, we're there because we can't resolve our differences
well, you
ourselves,
could have just did it when the person asked you, like, you know what
right?
I'm saying? Like even just went and checked, you know what, let me check the HOA policy handbook, see what it say. Let me check what the rules are.
Yeah.
Is this person trying to make me do something, or am I actually in violation of the rules? Because even though I got called out my name, and in response I called that person out their name, they still got called a homeowner.
Yeah.
But they wanted to stick to, but what they stuck with though was the fact that my reaction to them calling me out my name. And they ain't hear none of the other positive stuff that was in there, because they wanted to waste my fucking time on some shit that we just could have resolved.
Man. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. Like we supposed to be able to resolve as adults. We supposed to be able to resolve our differences with communication and conversation, right? And when we can't, that's when the law comes in to assist us, right? That's what the judge is there for. That's why I said if he's really trying to be King Solomon for real, right? He's gonna listen to both sides of the story and make a judgment. He's gonna discern. He's gonna be like, why didn't y'all just like why you didn't just keep your dog on your side? Right, like how many like why like why wouldn't you just tell them, hey, your dog, crapped in my yard again? That does sound unreasonable, but is there a reason medically why you couldn't do that? Oh, you got anxiety, you're 100% disabled veteran. Okay, that might be a tall task to make you do a whole nother thing after you just got finished spending 20 something years in the military, and now like you literally out here just trying to make America great again.
Make America great again, right? I don't know about trying to make America great, but
Your
at,
front yard, you
at
know what
least my
I'm
little piece,
saying?
at least my little piece of, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm
At least
saying?
my
Like,
little piece of America, like piece of slice of the American pie, man. Like I ain't shitting on yours. I ain't giving you no shit pie. You know what I'm saying? I ain't shitting on your pie. Matter of fact, I even gave some game. People trying to take from you and shit. I ain't even trying to take from people, trying to take from you, rob you, steal you and shit. Somebody say, oh, it's kids. They bad kids. And what I do? Help. Like a neighbor's supposed to do. Hey, that's wrong. That shit ain't supposed to be going on.
correct.
Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. I seen they parents pulled up on my porch. I wasn't here though. I seen their parents pull up on my porch like they wanted to come check me for telling on their kids. God allowed me not to be here for that.
What would that conversation be like?
Man, it was
Like,
going,
what would they say? Like, you told on
I
my
don't know,
kids?
family, but I would have been like, why the fuck you even on my porch? Why you not with your kid, with your little delinquent ass kids right now?
That's,
For real.
see what I'm saying about Wild West?
And then they would have been upset.
See what I'm saying about
And then
Wild
I don't
West?
know how I would have went, for real, because you're on my front porch now, so I'm probably gonna invite you in.
Like, unless you coming over to apologize, like, and on some old school, I'm about to make him mow your lawn type stuff or whatever, or I don't know. Like I don't understand what would the parents of the offended the offenders be coming to say? You shouldn't have called the police because they was kids. They just being kids.
I didn't call the police. I told the homeowner.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand. Like what would
You know what I'm
like,
saying? So they could now do what needed to be done to recover their property.
what?
So like that's the way the shit work. If it's not, vigilante justice or no dumb shit like that, you
That's
know what I'm saying? Like ain't nobody on that, family. Like I done already, we done already did it. We done already been living on the water, but doing law enforcement and immigration and customs, and
all
you know
that
what I'm
already.
saying? Like, dog, we
Did
done did
that.
all that shit, dog. I was in the hood with it first before. So I'm like around these guys and all these actors and all this other stuff. So we done seen it on two spectrums.
Yeah,
Now it's just like, man,
yeah.
don't bring that shit around here. I didn't move somewhere to for now for that to be prevalent. You know what I
Correct.
mean? I didn't move somewhere for that shit to be prevalent. Like, you
Yeah,
know. So I'm like, even if you do that, that's fine. What you do in your own home is your own home. But don't let that shit spill over to me, because I am gonna call the police if I think you selling drugs. I am going now I'm gonna have to call the police if you stealing some shit. You know, if you destroying somebody's property, I'm gonna have to call them. Okay. If I think you stealing some shit or you know, fucking up somebody, like, isn't that what you do in the neighborhood to protect each other?
Yeah, like there's no other
So
way to get the neighborhood back or to reclaim the hood to feel to get back to safety if we keep living by some street rules that the street cats don't live by, right? Like so, like I said, I was always outside, but I was never on the block, right? So I ain't never been no street
family,
kid.
family, street niggas, okay, they want to live where we live at.
Yeah.
They want to be where we at. They want to be in a 5 and 6 bedroom shit around the, you know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
want that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what they trying to trap out the bando to get to and all that other dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna
Correct,
get there but before they get to jail first.
correct,
Or
correct.
hopefully not unalive. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, family. Like, people don't even be realizing where they at. And you would tell them, you would tell them like, yeah, like you want me to be a nigger. You want me to be on some nigga shit. I ain't on no nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? I done already been a nigga. You know, the worst kind of them. So I'm done with that. I learned my lesson. I would just want to be a human, upstanding. That's it. I'm flawed. I got flaws. I ain't always fucking perfect. I ain't nobody. But you can't try me, you know what I'm saying, threatening me, testing me and shit, and think that I'm just gonna get beat up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do that. I fight back.
Get beat up and be okay with getting beat up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I fight back.
All right,
You
because
know?
I can get beat up, but I was still fighting back even if I got beat up.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, if you lose, you lose. Right? If you lose the fight, if you get beat up, you get beat up. But if it's some shit that don't even need to be fought over, why the
Yeah,
fuck are you fighting?
yeah, yeah. Why we fighting?
You know, if you just not going to admit that you threw the first punch, then you need to make sure that you tell everybody who you want to fight for you, I threw the first punch.
So they know what they getting into. Yeah, because it's not fair otherwise.
Because it's not fair. Otherwise, you don't care about them people. You just want them to go and act in your defense to make your wrong right. That's some coward shit right there. Conniving, scandalous, you know what I'm saying? No integrity,
Bully behavior.
you know. And I would ask if you care about the people that you want to send on that crash out mission.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? I really gotta stay prayed up because I tell you, trying to tell you guys. So we've been talking about consequence, y'all. Tonight we've been smoking on the word consequence. Want to thank everybody for watching, y'all. Make sure to like and share the video. Also subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. So when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays live. And y'all, when y'all go to subscribe, it's a little down arrow. Make sure you click the little down arrow and you'll see the little bell pop up and it'll say all. That's how you set the notifications to all, y'all. Consequence. Our third question of this evening: what are some examples of a negative or positive consequence? And it seems like tonight that we just really should have had an open forum because um because once we really defined the word and it, you know, the questions almost became, kind of obsolete. Did I use that right?
I think so.
Okay. um so yeah, so
Now it kind of worked though because I did have an answer before I saw the question. I mean, before I saw the definitions and the synonyms and stuff like that. So I do have an answer for the question. I think right. So for me, I wrote down the for the negative and for the positive both. I'm gonna say a baby, right? And that's what I wrote down earlier. And then when you was reading the synonyms, I kept seeing the word child.
mm-hmm.
I kept seeing the word fruit, right? And Negative, if you know if the child is a result from reckless sexual activity.
That's a
Positive
that's a negative consequence.
for the people that didn't intend for that to happen.
Okay.
I'm saying that's a negative consequence. A positive consequence would be for two planned adults that's planning life together,
Yeah.
and they,
I know why you tread it lightly. I know why you tread because the word
yeah,
because the word Planned Parenthood you was trying to
yeah.
stay away from it. I already know. Yeah, yeah, that's
Uh,
touchy, but
it's,
you right.
you know what I'm saying, but so that's why I would say that, right? The baby, and because and I feel more confident in my choice because I seen the word pop up as examples in the synonyms for consequence that a child is, and they didn't sway in the definition. They didn't tell you if consequence was meant to be negative or positive. They just told you it just was, right? and and that's what I think, right? So reckless sex gets you a kid, and intentional baby making get you a kid.
Okay, I'm gonna put some sauce on it.
Okay,
I'm gonna say casual sex.
okay.
Trying to keep up with the culture a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Catching bodies. Well, I guess that can be
Yeah,
interpreted a whole nother way. That could be related to unalive people and having a whole bunch of sexual partners.
I
So,
think I think body count is just the sex part.
oh, the body, but catching bodies. Okay, so I worded it wrong. Body count, a high body count,
Mhm.
that could lead to a a child being born not on purpose. The casualness of just meeting someone, and that I'm a product of that. I wasn't playing. And I love my mother for being honest with me, letting me know she wasn't that I wasn't playing. So
Wasn't playing myself.
so it didn't allow it didn't have me growing up upset about where my dad was, you know, because my mother was that honest with me. So, you know, to me that was a positive. I guess that was a positive consequence because my mom got me and I got my mom. So of her uh, you know, casual behavior, of her casual activity. But somebody had to do it in order for somebody had to do it, like, or I wouldn't be here now where people wanna where
All
people
facts.
where people
All
wanna
facts.
where people wanna beat me up and kill me and bully me and do everything else, you know what I'm saying? Some people wanna love me and hug on me too, though. It ain't all bad. So
Yo, imagine this, guy. We live in a world where you got people that actually want the ability and the right to let their dog shit on your property and not pick it up.
I don't get it. I don't get it, family. I don't get it, family. And like the
I
thing
got
about
dogs.
I know you have dogs, family. Like you've been having dogs. You know what I'm
I've been
saying?
having
Like
dogs.
all my friends, like everybody, I could have been had a dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't dislike animals. Right now, it is not affordable for me. It doesn't. It's another mouth to feed. That's the only. And then you got vet bills, and then you got all this other stuff. I'm trying to do other things with my finances. So that's the reason why I don't have one. But if I could have had one, if I could have had one and then be like, I'm gonna sick my dog on your dogs, what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, cause I used to have, man, I had a couple dogs, man. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, you know. So I'm just like, like I wouldn't even have done that. Like, cause then it would have been more, cause then I could have actually
It'd have been
use
worse.
the example of like, look, my dog, I'm managing my dog. My dog ain't coming over there. You know what I'm saying? So that would have, I guess it probably wouldn't have. I don't know, because just asking and realizing like you are doing this, you are allowing this to happen, should have been enough.
Yeah.
In my brain, it should have been enough, especially considering all of the love that I have extended, you know, because I could have just been like, don't ask me for shit. Nah, you can't do this. Nah. Well, somebody brought me your shit. I don't know who did shit. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't see shit.
I see that shit though. That is shit.
That's a nigga.
Yeah, that's a nigga.
That's a nigga behavior. A neighbor behavior is, you know what I'm saying? Letting people know that like, hey, I ain't watching you. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching the community. I'm making sure we safe. So, what are some examples of negative or positive consequence? Whew. I think we discussed a whole lot of them. I think the whole night we just been going over examples of negative and positive consequence when we look at, a thing happens, action happens, and a person wasn't thinking about, how is this going to affect, what are going to be the effects of me doing this? What's going to be the result? And like I said, everybody does it. Everybody needs improvement on it. Everybody, has to give the effort to pay attention, to be considerate of others, to be compassionate, but then we also have to be honorable enough to ourselves and have enough integrity to apologize, like not some fake apology or something, not
Yeah.
some, oh, hey, hi, nah, like be straight up. The same way you told me kiss your ass should be the same way you apologize.
Up front. Boldly.
Boldly and upfront. You know what I'm saying? Have that same confidence with that. Like if I didn't want to fight you when you told me fuck me, you know what I'm saying?
I probably don't.
Then I probably don't want to fight you. And then I definitely don't want to fight you if you come in on some peace.
Correct. Oh, nah, you a sucker. Now you on some peace talk? Yeah. Nah. If I didn't want to fight you before, I probably don't want to fight you now.
You see what I'm saying? Like I ain't trying to fight nobody. Trust me, I done all the shooting and all the fighting I could do enough. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to talk about none of it.
Yo, guy, you saw that video going around on social media right now where Shorty in the lockup and his grandmother in there with him, basically telling him like, we tried to tell you, but you ain't want to listen to nobody.
I cried when I seen that, bro.
All you had to do was listen to your parents, but nobody could tell you anything. You just refuse to listen, right? When she sat him down, when she said, "Give me a hug, baby," and she sat him down and she stood there and she folded her arms and she was like, "There's nothing that we can do for you. There's nothing else that we can do. There's nothing that can be done for you now." And when it sunk in for the young man that there's nothing so the only thing that we can do is say free you. We can just say it, but there's nothing that can be done. And he realized, I'm like, that's why I said I don't know if people are thinking about the consequences of their decisions, right? I think that because that video made me think that Shorty wasn't thinking about none of that until his grandmother said that to him while he was locked up. Like the only time he could hear it was when he got caught and he was forced to hear it. Which is another reason why I'm saying call the police first, right? I remember my homeboy called me, right? And he was like, yo,
I will now.
my homeboy was like, yo, like what you think? Because I got mad at the grandmother, right? I was like, I ain't like what she said in there. She said, you know, I told you boys, don't tell me nothing. Right. I don't want to know nothing. I know y'all in the streets and I don't want to know what y'all doing out there, but I want y'all to do better. And I didn't like that because to me, I've been hearing that my whole life. I've been hearing that example and those scenarios of the grandmothers and the aunties and everybody knowing exactly how ratchet and reckless and debaucherous your behavior is, and then not doing anything to actually prevent you from doing it, more. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They're saying these words and they're praying for you, but they're not calling the police on your punk ass. They're not telling the person that you robbed or the neighborhood that you are a thief, that you are whatever type of criminal you are, right? Like they're not making it hard for you to walk around or to feel comfortable in your environment. They're making it okay, and then they want to cry when somebody do something to you. They want to cry when you do something to somebody, and now you gotta pay the price for your actions. And that's what I'm saying. Like I don't like it,
Cause there's
right?
no accountability. Like ain't
Now,
no everybody trying to be stuck in their own, you know. I
like
don't
I,
know
don't-
what that is, God.
like I hate saying like and mind you, I'm saying no such thing as a good cop, right? I'm saying fuck the police. I'm saying all that, and I'm saying we gotta call the police on these cats, right? Because they're not gonna stop. We gotta make. If we don't change it, it won't change. It's not gonna change by osmosis. Like we ain't standing next to nothing that's gonna make the situation better, right? There's nothing that we're standing next to that's just gonna say, you know what, it should just be like that now because that's actually a clean glass over there. Like it's all crap. Like it's all polluted. Like every glass is dirty. Like it's all suspect. Like wash your own dishes. All right, be your own clean glass.
Be your own clean glass, but somebody might try to spit on your glass.
And that's fucked up, right? And somebody spitting in your glass, like the consequences of that is what I say in the first place is your fault, right? Because if I'm over here minding my business doing me, and now you coming over here to interfere, however I run you over is how you got ran over.
You know, that's the way I think. Like shit, if you throw a punch and you get hit back, then
You know what I'm saying? Like,
then what you complaining about?
what you complaining about? That's what's
You
supposed to
know,
happen.
but I'm not a coward either. You know what I'm saying? Like I take responsibility for the punches I throw. I don't try to throw a punch and then hide my hand. You see what I'm saying? So I ain't on that. That's why I don't lead with no punches. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna lead with a jab, then I'm gonna lead with that jab. But if I'm not gonna lead, if I'm not even coming out fighting, then I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Blah 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 blah. Like what the why what's going on? Like, yeah, like we don't need to be doing this, like this ain't cool. You trying to be casual about stuff. You're not trying to be flirty. You're not trying to be cynical. You're not trying to be none of that. You know what I'm saying? You just try to be respectful and not try to make it like uh like nasty. You're not trying to be like, nasty with it. You trying to get get an actual response that you think that would be conducive to working together, you
You
know.
said flirty, God. There's no way to flirt in talking about dog shit. I
No,
don't
but
think.
but I
I'm
add,
just saying.
you know what I'm saying? But like some people internalize things like,
Mm.
because they in a different place that you not at. You ain't even thinking on that level. And you just like, and I just throw shit out there because like in that situation, I was like, why would somebody tell you come find them instead of just preventing it from happening. Well, anytime you see it, come find me. Like, did you tell your husband that? Did you tell your husband that the guy was complaining about the dog shitting in the yard? And I told him, just come find me every time the dog shit in the yard. Because I'm gonna keep allowing the dogs to shit in the yard all the time. I'm not gonna do nothing to stop it. So he'd be like, well,
You ain't
so
tell your husband.
every time he come out the house, he gotta come look for you. Why?
You ain't tell your
Like,
husband that.
like not even on no insecure shit. Just like, why you want this nigga looking for you all the fucking time?
Which is why you didn't tell your husband that, because your husband would say that.
You
Not even
know,
on the insecure stuff.
why you don't just stop doing the shit? Like, he asking you, he ain't cussing you out. Did he ask you nasty? Did he ask you rudely? No, he ain't do that. So why you don't want to do that? Why you didn't do that? Nobody's asking that question because it's lies happening. You see what I'm saying? And it's just trying to make somebody look bad because people want to die on them being wrong. Like I called the person out for some shit that they was doing to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how you not supposed to, and that's, if I don't say nothing, then I just agree with it, right?
Silence is acceptance in a lot of cases. Yeah, God.
Like, I'm not lying. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a lie detector test for everything I've said and everything I've done. I'll take a whole lie detector test, God, because I know me and God know. Me and God know I ain't lying. So if I gotta die about it, then I know I'm good, but I know somebody going to jail or hell. Because there's some people who love me.
Facts.
I ain't by myself.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I just try to stay away from them niggas, man, because you know what I'm saying? Because it rubs off, and I grew up that way. You feel me? And I'm just trying to be cool. Like, we on some cool shit now. We trying to cruise. I shouldn't have made it to 18. Ask my mama. But guess what? That's what God had for me. And God already told me what I got to do. Keep my integrity. Be honest, man. Don't be out here lying, trying to deceive. Don't steal from nobody. Don't cheat nobody. Don't be trying to wrong nobody on purpose. You know? Don't even try to manipulate girls to give you some vagina. Date with a purpose. Okay? Don't be a hoe, a man hoe out here. Have some respect for your penis. Okay? So I ain't pull up. Everybody know I ain't pulling up hollering at nobody. I ain't on nobody wives. I don't want to fuck nobody wife. None of that bullshit. That shit is some sucker ass fuck nigga bullshit. And any nigga talking about he want to fuck somebody's wife, he should die.
That's a piece of shit. Like,
he should die. That's where I stand on that. And I stand on business. Okay? So I ain't on that type. I ain't that type of nigga either. Okay? But when you talking dirty and nasty and shit to me, you're not gonna get a chance to get these to know me like that. Especially when I'm not talking dirty and nasty to you. And that's a consequence of being nasty, being disrespectful, being inconsiderate, lacking consideration for somebody else's, for not acknowledging that that person has only helped. That person has only helped. Not even to pop my own collar. I wasn't looking for nothing back. I help people. God, you've been knowing me how long we know each other? A long ass time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm about to say, I don't know how long.
A long ass time.
It's been a long time.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, I'm from the life-saving service, family. I did my time in the life-saving service. That's where I grew up at. That's where I came into a man at, in the life-saving service. So putting my life on the line for other people is a daily thing, daily routine, everyday thing when you let them hang. And like I said, man, I hope the animal that I had an interaction with, I hope that animal is okay, for real. To the pet gods, you know what I'm saying? Some love, because everybody I know got dogs. And like I said, if you think that a person is a threat, then you're irresponsible if you let your animal around that person. And all the person was asking you to be responsible about your animals in the first place, be a better manager of your pets in the first place. So, like, nicely before they got cussed out. So yeah, so that was a consequence, and that was a consequence of asking nice, getting cussed out. Who knew? Who knew? Play the whole tape. Tell me I'm lying. But you can run it on the network. I'll bring it. We can pull up and talk about it. For real. Because we ain't using no names and don't nobody know where the fuck I live at. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I could be making all this shit up. You see what I'm saying? So, like, come on, family. You know? But if we talking the truth, then you know what's going on. So tonight, y'all, we have been discussing the word consequence. We've been smoking on the word consequence. And we had 3 questions that we always shape our conversation around. Those questions this evening were: what do you think of when you hear the word consequence? Let us know in the comment section down below what you think of the word, what you think when you hear the word consequence. We would love to hear your feedback. Also, how our second question this evening was: how does consequence play a role in decision making? We exchanged some insights on that all throughout this evening. And once again, you can leave us a comment and let us know what you think about how consequence play a role in your decision making. And our third and final question this evening was: what are some examples of a negative or positive consequence? I don't know if we answered the question like specifically, you know, to gauge an exact understanding or to have like a specific answer for it, but you know, but I think throughout our conversation this evening, like the guy Ali Dawu El at BK Soul Farm said, that, you know, we have been given positives and negatives all night long. We did have a particular scenario that we threw out there, but you know, it was near and dear to my heart because I believe that you know, like, I like peace. I don't like no friction and no drama and shit like that, because you know, I have a history. And I don't like that person. I don't like that version of me, you know? So I don't like to present that person, you know, and I hate when people try to bring that out of me, you know, because I do have a tendency to, you know, I could do that. So I could be the worst version of myself. And we don't like that guy. So we tried definitely to leave that guy somewhere else on an island on his own. And we have come to that magical time of the evening with our title question: is consequence bad, good, or misunderstood? The God Ali Dawu El at BK Soul Farm. Let us know.
Colloquially, 100% misunderstood. Right. Like I said, for the second question, I don't even know if people are consciously making choices with consequences in mind, right? I bring up the young man and his grandmother, and to me, I think that's a lot of the circumstances, right? I think about all the people that I've known to get locked up and to make that first phone call home crying, talking about, yo, you got to get me out of here. But they 100% did what they did to get locked up in there, right? But now that they have to deal with that, they have to face that, is all of a sudden like, I'm not built for this. So I'm gonna say is misunderstood. People are not having enough consideration to properly understand this word, right? Because if they did, then it wouldn't be negative always. They would appreciate and rejoice for the positive consequences of their actions, right? The positive that come out from the choices that they make, from the friends that they choose to associate with, the men or women that they choose to have in their lives as partners or whatever, right? When you make good choices, you have positive outcomes that you and other people can appreciate together, right? Like a negative outcome, at best, you alone um, could possibly benefit from. I don't want to say appreciate, but I would say benefit from. Um, but and again, Psalms 133rd, man. We gotta get we gotta get back to, or get to, wanting to see each other happy and see each other win, right? And be proud and feel like we winning ourselves when our brother is winning, right? I take
Right.
I take pride in everything that DB Chef TV do, even when I'm not a part of it personally up front, because I'm a part of it because you my man, right? Like
So peace, God.
we winning all the time, right? So I take wins. Life. I don't know about y'all, but for me, life has been living, right, and life has been life, and so I take all my wins from wherever I can get it.
That's
So
right.
my homeboy is about to get his second or third group home. I'm like, man, that's dope, right?
Yeah.
Like that's dope. Like, it's everybody that's doing things, how big, how small. If you stubbed your toe yesterday, and you figured out to not have to stub your toe today because you figured out the layout of your bedroom, that's a win.
Right.
That's a win.
Especially when if you can get there in the dark, right?
That's a win. That's a
That's
win.
right.
I take them, right. I don't need life altering lotto type wins. I take all my wins as they come, and I'm so appreciative and thankful for them, right? So um consequences is misunderstood.
Misunderstood.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like the word, but it's misunderstood.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll agree, God. That consequence is definitely misunderstood. It is taught incorrectly. It is used incorrectly throughout. We using it incorrectly. All people, black people, white people, everybody.
Everybody.
You know.
Just everybody.
So it ain't. It's not a racial thing.
Mm.
Even though you might hear us say the word nigga on here, cracker, anything, like we gonna say some stuff, but we online, okay. But in all seriousness, once again, we not the gurus. We not, somebody who think we know every damn thing. We tell y'all we learning this stuff too. I'm definitely not perfect. I stand before you today sincerely apologizing for something because I know I wasn't perfect. And that ain't me. That ain't my character. You know what I'm saying? And I let somebody play me out of my character on some snake shit because they was wrong in the beginning. And it's just like, you know what? That shit made me stoop to your low ass level. I'm above that. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't knowing that initially. You can't lie and say that I was. If you ever say that, then you're not honest. You have no integrity. And whoever you want to make believe that what they saw at the height of it was the beginning, then guess what? Then you don't care about those people because you get ready to try to have them crash out or possibly something be bad for them because you're a liar. You know
You're
what I'm
a
saying?
liar.
Yeah, because you're a liar and have no integrity. So that's one of them things where I feel like consequence is, it lacks because it's only taught as a negative
Yeah.
result. It's not the logical thing, where you can actually have a positive consequence. Like we gave some examples doing it, having a planning a child, getting with this woman. Hey, you want to have kids one day? Like, well, that's how we do it. Let's get married. Let's have some kids. Okay, cool. So we gonna get this job. We're gonna get that job. We're gonna do this. We're gonna. So like the result is a positive consequence. It's not negative. But since it's not taught like that, then it is very misunderstood throughout American culture. So once again, like we say, we ain't the gurus. If you find something you like right here on Cigar Sundays, pick it up and have a smoke. If you don't, leave something in the ashtray for somebody else. We want to thank everybody for pulling up this evening. Once again, make sure to like and share the video and also subscribe to the channel. We have some links in the description. Don't forget about all our merch links and follow us on social media everywhere at DBCHEFTV and BK Soul Farm. Also, please, y'all, make sure to have a peaceful, positive, and productive start to your week. For real, don't let nobody get you off your square, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't really worth it.
Word.
And make sure that people have some integrity that you're dealing with. Don't nobody love you who gonna lie to you. I can tell you that now. Don't nobody love you for real if they lie to you. So, and we talked about that. That gets confusing because, we get show Christmas for so long as children, and then our parents tell us don't lie to them, but then they just lied to you and made it okay for however many years till the secret got revealed. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, we doing these practices in our culture, man, where it's just ruining moral complex. It's just ruining moral compasses. And people think it's okay. Oh, it's a white lie. Oh, it's a this lie. Oh, it's a that lie. But people could lose their life behind a fucking lie.
And half.
And half. So we should be more mindful of that, especially the people we care about. I'm not gonna send nobody I love on no crash out mission, man. Not gonna do it. Not on no lie. You know what I'm saying? Now, if somebody touch my family, a child or something like that, we got a whole nother conversation going on. You know what I'm saying? But don't put something in danger and then be mad when something happens. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing to do is to be preventative. So definitely, y'all, make sure to have a peaceful, positive, productive start to your week. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we will see you all next Sunday. Well, you know what? It's gonna be a little bit of Sundays. We're gonna do some stuff. We're gonna be restructuring some things. So just be on the lookout for us, y'all. Like we said, hit the notification bell and set your subscription to all. So when we go live, you will know when we go live. And thank everybody for pulling up. Make sure to leave some comments in the chat and everything. We respond to them. And if you want to reach out to Chef Earl Pearl, you can reach out to Chef Earl Pearl at in my email, cheferlpearl@dbcheftv.com. Have a good night, Bubbling Brown. Thanks for pulling up. We appreciate all your comments and everything in the chat. You kept us lit. And you can also reach Ali Dawu L at bksoulfarm.com.
Yep.
Okay. And that's all we got.
Yeah, God.
And Until next time. Peace out.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability. Jump on a list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigarden Panel. Smoking on words like two big nerds. Hosted by DBCHEFTV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live.
Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.